Back out on the water again today. It's another cold January day, and what I have behind me and what I want to talk about is line management after you've made your cast. So behind me is a run where on top the water's moving really fast, but down beneath that surface current is a nice depression where the water's moving super slow. And what I see a lot of people do is they make this mistake. They immediately cast their flies upstream, they pick their rod tip up. And what happens when you do that is, you've made your cast, as soon as those flies hit the water, they start to sink, but you pick that rod tip back up, now all you've done is pull those flies back up into the surface current and up out of the strike zone instead of down in where they need to be. So one of the ways that you can manage this is, after you've made your cast, keep your line tip low. Give that line, give your sighter a little bit of slack. You're still going to see strikes when you made that cast, if they hit it as soon as it breaks that surface current. But what you want to do is lift that rod tip as the leader and the flies start drifting towards you, and then make your contact. You still have contact with your flies throughout that entire drift. The difference is the tightness of your sighter. So I'm going to fish up through this, and I'm going to work on making that cast, not picking my rod tip up immediately, but kind of letting, when those flies get to depth, when I actually lift up on that rod tip. And hopefully might be able to pick up a few fish. Get a retie and then work my way back up through that because there's more fish in there. Broke that one off and I missed one other one. But I'll come back in a minute. But the flies I'm using are a 2.4 and a 2.0. One of the points also is you don't always necessarily need to go with a thinner tippet or heavier flies. A lot of times people will say, well, I can't get down fast enough, so I need a heavier fly. No, what you need to do is manage the slack in the line that you have. Sometimes, yeah, thinner tippet and heavier flies will work, but that's not always the answer.
Nice rainbow.
And again, that fish there, I actually caught him as those flies were still sinking. So my flies were just about to start to get in the bottom and get into the drift. And I saw the take in the sighter. I wasn't tight. My sighter had a good amount of bow or slack in it. So that right there is a prime example of what I'm talking about. Had you immediately tried to get tight with those flies, one, that fish would have spit, probably would have never even seen been able to go after those flies, or you never would have seen it. You probably wouldn't even have eaten them, because as they were sinking, you would have pulled them back up. It would have been a completely unnatural movement. But I didn't even get to the back half of that drift, so I'm going to go see if I can catch another one. I didn't expect that rainbow to be right there, but nice surprise. So there you go. A couple fish in a couple minutes, and I missed one more in there. But that's a good example of what I'm talking about. Try it, see if it works. Trout, yeah.